This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Hey, Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation joining us. Always good to have you, Alyssa. What's up?
Hey, it's always good to see you in person, Phil, which is what football brings, which is exciting. So,
May see you this weekend in Baton Rouge. You don't want to miss a trip all the way down to Louisiana.
No.
Food, fun, football, and, you know, all the things that go into Arkansas LSU, which is usually an entertaining game.
Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine who works in Baton Rouge, and I was like, come for the food, stay for the football. It might be one of my favorite places to go on the road. I just love the food. I love the atmosphere. It's a cool place to visit and capture a football game. And, you know, it went pretty well the last time Arkansas played a night game in Death Valley. So we'll see if we can repeat it.
Looked like Rocket Sanders was back at practice, though not a full participant. And judging from what Sam Pittman said yesterday, I don't think he's going to play Saturday. But I feel better that he at least is a partial participant in practice. Maybe you're targeting the A&M game.
And that's possible, and that's kind of what I've been hearing, too, that A.J. Green needed to be the guy for the Razorbacks for at least a couple of weeks. And that's what the timing seems to be right now. If they can get him back for the A&M game, it would be huge. But if they can get him back for the Ole Miss game, I think that's a little more realistic. But just trying to keep him still in shape. You know, if you can get Rocket Sanders out there doing as little as he can, he's at least staying in shape. He's moving around. He's got that. He's developing that mobility again in that knee, and then they can continue to evaluate him, because it's different if you're coming back from an injury and you haven't practiced in 4 weeks, as opposed to still being out there and at least moving around a little bit, which is promising. But I think if I'm an Arkansas fan, I would put stock into seeing A.J. Green, Rashad Dubinion, and Dominique Johnson being your rotation in the backfield for at least 2 more weeks.
Alyssa, I wonder about the offensive line moving up into this next game. Sam yesterday talks about, well, you got some guys who have hand injuries, and we didn't know that until after the loss to BYU. You know, and then you had Chamblee and Kudus left the game. I think that was just cramps more than anything, so I'm assuming they'll be available. But I don't, you know, people might ask about, well, can we make a couple of shuffles on the offensive line? It doesn't seem to me, because Sam was talking about we're looking for 7 or 8 offensive linemen. I don't think they're as deep on the offensive line as they thought they might be and as they were hoping they would be. Otherwise, I think there might have been a tackle or two that came in from the transfer portal.
Yeah, you know, I think that you go back to what Sam Pittman said during fall camp when he was talking about offensive line and what they were trying to do and develop guys in depth at certain positions and not do as much cross-training as they had in the past, because what he didn't want to do is, let's say Bo Limmer gets hurt, you have to move Brady Latham over to center, and now you got to plug someone else new in Brady Latham's spot, and that just now adds 2 new guys on the line instead of, you know, a new guy playing a position and a new guy on the line, where if you have a backup center, you're just replacing the center and everything stays the same. So I don't know if that's, you know, come to haunt them a little bit, or that didn't work out as much as they wanted to. And then obviously you've got some minor injuries here and there that play a role in game that are going to affect things. But, you know, it is concerning, because this is a run game that really hasn't been able to dominate at all in the first 3 games of the season. And this is a KJ Jefferson that I'm just not used to seeing. And I think part of it is because the offensive line has some issues, and part of it is it's just a different offense that he's running, that he's not he hasn't run before, and he's 3 games into running Dan Enos' offense in a game setting. So you hope that the offensive line can find some reprieve a little bit, but also Sam Pittman doesn't talk about injuries, and so it's one of those things where it's like we're watching a game, and what is going on with the offensive line? Everyone has all these questions, and you come back on Monday, oh, well, guys were hurt. Well, we didn't know that. So how are we, you know what I mean? Like, in the moment, you might be a little more critical, and then you find out on Monday he had injuries. They just don't talk about those kind of things to give us a little bit of a look inside, to be a little bit more understanding on a Saturday during a game than we would be on a Monday just finding it out.
Alyssa, there was some positive to take away from the game. I thought the defense, because to start the second half, BYU went 3 and out. Landon Jackson made some plays. I mean, number 27, that dude can play on Sundays. How confident are you with this defense? Have you seen enough that you think we have a chance against LSU?
Yeah, hey, I will say Chris Paul was my difference maker in our show. I love that kid too. He's so fun to watch, and he can definitely play. But I think the defense is coming along. I think they need to be a little bit more consistent. They've got so many weapons. I would love to see a little bit more consistency with them a little bit in their play. But overall, you look at what the defense has done, and if they play their cards correctly and they're much more sound in their communication and their discipline against LSU, I mean, LSU is beatable. I watched it happen the first game of the year. There are ways that you can beat them at their own game. We watched this Arkansas team with a lot of the same pieces on defense, except in the secondary, almost beat LSU at home last year. Mm-hmm. And so they're a beatable team, and I like what this defense has shown me. I just need the offense to be a little bit more sound, not as many penalties, and I need to see more consistency from the defense.
Well, would you like to see I would like to see a little more quick passing game when you're worried about your offensive line, and you have an Armstrong and Tesla. I'd like to see Centennial out there a little more, but the point being, when you have a single high safety look, you're getting kind of man on the outside, and you have those bigger guys, your 3-step drop, getting that ball out on level 2, 24 to 28 yards, and it's a quick play that you don't have to worry about your quarterback taking a hit on, and I think it's a mismatch advantage Arkansas, because one of the best ball KJ throws is that kind of over-the-top ball.
Yeah, you would love to see that, and that's what Rocket Sanders was so good at, right? Because he was a wide receiver coming into college and moved to the running back room. So if that's something where you put Isaiah Centennial, you mentioned it, but Sam Pittman said it yesterday or Monday. Yeah, that was yesterday. I don't know what day it is, guys. Yes, yesterday, that he just needs to catch the ball more consistently at practice. Mm-hmm. And so, but it's also, he is such an athlete. Just get him on the field, right? Get him in more opportunities to just make plays, and maybe that opens up things for everybody else. So I would love to see him getting Isaiah Centennial maybe get incorporated in the backfield a little bit as a hybrid play, because he's so fast and he's so dynamic when he's got the ball in his hands, and I think he can make plays and maybe take some pressure off of some of the other positions on the offense that are struggling right now.
What do you think about the Arkansas secondary against this this LSU receiving core? I like the Arkansas secondary. I think Singletary is a dude. I like him a lot. And obviously Dwight McGlothern has proven himself to be a playmaker. They cover well. They do cover well. Mm-hmm. But this LSU receiver group is a different story than I think you're going to face maybe at any other point. Neighbors, Thomas, I don't know. Have you got to double team somebody? It's going to be tough to get to Daniels. That's one aspect that I do wonder about.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. And that just goes back to communication and seeing what this secondary is made of, because they're talented and they can cover. But as long as maybe they play a little bit more disciplined football and don't get caught off guard, they're going to have some success. You've also got a guy in Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor. Shout out to my Dolphins who won on Sunday night. Arkansas's defense has always struggled with big tight ends like him. There were tight ends with Texas A&M that they would struggle with, and so I don't see LSU not taking advantage and seeing what can we do with this big tight end that we have in Mason Taylor, and seeing what he can do against the defense that has struggled with tight ends like that in the past. So there's that extra dynamic, too, that they've got a lot to be aware of when it comes to that LSU offense.
Dolphins look really good on Sunday night,
they get the Broncos this week.
How about it? How about it? I do love Russell Wilson because he's from Richmond like me. Shout out to the 804, but I got no love on Sunday.
Well, I don't blame you.
You keep Tua healthy, man. I'm a big-time Tua fan. I think he's a top 12 quarterback in the league, and he's so fun. Then Tyreek Hill, he's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been really fun. And then you've got Jalen Waddle, and Tua is throwing the ball so much better than we've seen him throw the ball in the past. And that's been the biggest difference. These first two games with Miami. You keep him healthy and protected. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I didn't look it up, but I don't think he's been sacked at all this year. And that's a tribute to them really paying attention and investing in that offensive line around him, and then just being smarter and developing him and that passing game a little bit more with Tua. So it's been fun. It's been a fun
Hey,
year.
I mean, Alyssa, that division is ripe for the picking. The division is ripe for the picking. You know, everybody's kind of diving in the Jets' corner, and then Rodgers gets hurt. That's not going to be Zach Wilson's not going to do much with him. At least that's not what I expect. You already beat the Patriots. That's not the same Patriots since Tom Brady. Josh Allen is a turnover machine. The Dolphins might be the most complete team in that division.
Oh, let's hope so. You know, it's early, and I'm always hopeful, and I'm always a little bit biased, but it is about as wide open as it's ever been for the Dolphins to have some success, and it's exciting to watch them play. And I really like Mike McDaniel and the way that he coaches this football team, and just the relatability that he has, and hopefully it continues. You got the Bills in 2 weeks at home. I was telling Saul they just played on the road. They play the Patriots on the road and the Bills on the road, and I think the Jets on the road early, which means you don't play them in November and December when it's snowing. You get those guys in Miami, which is always favorable.
Alyssa, one more question about the Razorbacks, and we know Rockert's a little banged up. How else is the rest of the team? Is McLaughlin, is his toe healthy? Is KJ healthy? How healthy are we going into this LSU game?
I think as healthy as you can be. I apologize for getting us on a tangent down the Dolphins. That was my fault. But, I think McLaughlin showed last week that he was good to go. He played that whole game, and then Sam said that KJ is healthier now than he was going into that BYU game. And so this is about as a complete team as you're going to get without Rocket Sanders.
Favorite food to eat when you're in Louisiana, Alyssa? What do you got?
Oh, man, shrimp and grits is hard to beat. Give me some remoulade sauce and a po' boy, all of it, beans, rice, etouffee, jambalaya, gumbo, beignets.
I'm getting hungry.
Wash it all down with an ice cold Abita Amber, and we can have some more fun. That's right.
Yes. Oh, you make me hungry. I'm about to go eat lunch, thank gosh.
It is lunchtime, Alyssa, so, go get yourself some gumbo somewhere and prime the pump for Saturday, all right?
I will. I will, guys.
Thanks, Alyssa.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.